And I want to start in the theme of today, and loneliness, and what to do about it. And actually, a few weeks ago, when I was thinking what to say on this presentation, this guy passed through my newsfeed in one of the social media. It's a judge, 90 plus years old, in the States, who was getting lonely after his wife died. And then he made a click. The click was to open up his garden. He built a pool and said to everybody in the neighborhood, come and join my pool. Loneliness solved. And the same thing we heard yesterday as well. If we listen to the storyline of Mark Hermans, a same click happened somewhere in the life to stop thinking of the black cards and go for the nice cards again. And actually, that's the same thing what happened in Prof. And now I'm going to tell a story which most of you have never heard before. And I have explicit approval to tell it to you. And I feel privileged. Actually, Prof also started with one click. And it's not the click of Jan inviting us to join Prof, but actually we have, it's about Jan's mother. At a certain point in time, Jan's mother was in a retirement home. And she was surrounded with different people, all waiting, to put it bluntly, waiting for the end of their life. And actually, it was Jan's mother who said, Jan, you have to do something about it. And as of that day, we have Jan, a man with a mission. A man with a mission to change something in healthcare. And that's how we came in 2010 to actually 2009 with 7 different partners we joined together. All of us believed the story of Jan, that we had to do something to bring more innovation to the healthcare environment. And with only 7 organizations, we started off brainstorming in some dark attic somewhere in Ghent. And out of the brainstorms came the 6-month trajectory we had in 2010. In January 2010, the prof rooms, which you may have visited or you will visit, looked like this. And basically, most of the people in the consortium at that time said, Jan, you're completely mad. We cannot transform this in 6 months' time into a real demonstrator where we can go into the launching. But actually, 6 months later, it looked like this. It was the first launch of the first room, the first concept of Prof. It was a very day to remember. And I think this day today, the first launch of the concept of Jewel is also going to be a day to remember. Now we have the storm, and for me it's the first time I do a presentation in the storm. But then we had 35 degrees Celsius. It was extremely hot when we did the presentations. The people from Bonen even had to open up the roof to have sufficient air in the meeting room. As you can see, we had a very relaxed attitude. If you want to create a relaxed attitude, choose a warm location. It does help. But in the meantime, we had the visits at those days. We even had actors demonstrating how the room could function to really make it complete for everybody. But in the meantime, we went into 5 different more concepts. We do it in 5 steps. We start with the 5, which you know the 5 steps for Prof. It's the brainwave, which we all did yesterday for the next project. Out of the brainwave results, we distill the keywords. With the keywords, we have a creative team starting to design the new solutions. And then the key difference with a lot of think tanks is that we don't stop with the design. We also build the design so that you can feel it, that you can experience it. And over the time, we have seen a lot of with a lot of the visits that people tend to come to visit and they try to get inspiration, but actually what happens if you spend time in the room, that within 5 to 10 minutes, people start to co-create. They start to think, I can do this with that, I can maybe alter this, this could be better, and so on. So it's not just a room to visit, it's also a room to inspire, and it keeps on inspiring all of us to bring new solutions, better solutions to the market. We've done it 5 times by now. The 5 times we have the patient room of the future, the residence, the care room, the recovery, but then the recovery room, and then the patient resolution for loneliness in the future. We did it even an additional 1 time, and I explicitly say it's 5 + 1. It's not the 6th time today, because this is the very first time that we are presenting a non-tangible result. It's the same process, it's the same method, but with a whole other different team of designers. It's more a social design team, and the end result is intangible, but yet very concrete strategies, tips, and ways to go and change the future of healthcare. And next year, I already invite you for the results of our 6th room project, which is going to be My Home is My Castle. And as you can see on the slide, we still have to do something about actual naming, because we don't find the famous prof letters in that name. That's going to be a different creative story. But prof is not just about concept and realizations. We also have the Chair Award. We are very proud that as a very strange organization consisting out of very enthusiastic people, that we managed to raise the funds to actually have a chair hosted by the university. At present, it's hosted by the University of Ghent, still for 1 more year. After that, it's going to be open for other universities. And the chair organizes a yearly awards ceremony. They do a call to inspire, to get a list of projects that can inspire others to bring new solutions to healthcare, and the 5 best solutions of the projects are then invited for a symposium, which we do in the buildings of the university in Leuven, and we've done it already twice. And 2 of the winners are actually here today. You can visit them in the hall. We have the Activate for Health with the bike, and then Inga Wellbeing with the clothes. And I think it's very interesting for us also to see that both of the companies are growing on their path, and they have already received other awards during the time that they are growing, but Prof was the very first award to recognize them and to help them on bringing to the next step. I want to also bring you 3 as an additional number for Prof, because Prof has been a very long time, very strange thing in the area and the domain of open innovation. By the time we got warned that open innovation initiatives typically die off when you have 20 partners, and if you exist 3 years, we were already 40 partners and we existed already for 4 years. So we don't care about that limit nor deadline. We stretch it. And actually, for many years, I could say that Prof was an odd one out. We were not part of the literature, but now we are. Actually, we have already 2 books released describing the Prof way of working and leveraging and hoping to inspire other organizations to do similar things. And a 3rd book, which I don't have the cover at this time, will be added by the end of this year. There are different approaches to explaining what we are doing, how we are doing it, and I invite you to read them, to get inspired and to see if you can adapt the way we do things to bring more cooperation, more win-win innovation to the future. And I want to close with the tree. What about the tree? You've seen it now sometimes already in the presentation. It's also very prominent on the cover of my book. Actually, the tree is a real tree. The tree is the image is inspired by the tree of 40 fruits. It's a tree, an experiment of an American professor who succeeded to bring together 40 different kinds of fruits and bring them, integrate them, make them collaborate bring them in symbiosis on one single tree stem. And I think that also stands as a great image for what we do in Prof. We bring together very different parties, we bring together very different visions, but we manage to have them cooperate in symbiosis, so that in the end, all of them can bear their own fruits, can have their own win out of the relation, and therefore also the title of my book, Win-Winnovation. There's not a zero-sum game innovating. There's not a zero-sum game society. We can make it work and all get better out of it. At present, I have to disappoint you, my book is only available in Dutch, but there will be an English version coming out in January. If you're interested, I have copies with me at my stand. And I would like to conclude with a final quote from me, that cooperating works great at Prof. And personally from myself, I like to be cooperating with Prof. I hope you get inspired as well. Thank you.